Okay, for Michelle, the skin flaw that she's concerned with will be her freckles. Her surface of the skin is quite dry, so normally before we camouflage, it's good to apply a sunblock or a moisturizer. Okay, so I'm going to just use a light moisturizer on her. No moisturizer? Okay. My hand's a bit cool.
No problem.
The moisturizer that I'm using is this called the Intensive Barrier. It's like non-greasy. And I'm someone who likes to work with my fingers, so I'm not going to use brushes or sponge unless there's a need. Michelle is quite fair, so I'm going to use Cover Cream K1 on her. So if the skin surface is very dry, immediately after sunblock or cover cream, after sunblock or moisturizer, we can straight away apply the cover cream. So when we apply, we have to just scoop the cover cream or scrape the cover cream and put it either on the back of our hands or on the palm. Reason is to soften the cream. So once the cover cream is mixed well and soft, because she has freckles scattered across her face, so spot concealment will not be possible. So what I'm going to do is actually to set the base on the whole face first. And when we apply the cover cream, for the very first layer, we spread. And first layer is actually not intended for coverage. So if you find that how come first layer it doesn't really conceal well, it's okay. Benefits of cover cream, easy to apply. If you can see from the screen, I'm actually spreading with not much difficulty. Okay. And when we spread the cover cream, we always go in the downwards direction and not upwards. Why? Follow the hair growth direction. Facial, we have facial hairs. If you go upwards, you may push the hair growth in the opposite direction. One thing good about cover cream is actually it really depends on how much coverage you want, and you are the one who controls the number of layers to be put on. So maybe with just one application, if Michelle finds that she's comfortable, actually she may just choose to leave home or head to work with just one layer. Okay, so once you spread the cover cream over the whole face, second layer onwards is for coverage. So when we want to apply cover cream, we no longer spread, but we dab, or we call it tap. So areas with the freckles, you just have to gently tap. Am I using a lot of force?
No, it's okay.
So areas without the freckles, actually she can just stick with the very first layer. She don't really have to put on the second layers if there are no freckles there.
Sorry, Linda, you don't need a primer with this color.
Yeah, the primer can be actually just the sunblock. Sunblock is actually good enough. As you can see, the areas which I'm working at, I'm always dabbing and not rubbing. Because if you rub, you may be picking up colors instead of applying. And one thing to note also is always do a check on how much cream you have on your fingers. So once the cream gets lesser, you have to get more. If not, you'll be picking up colors instead of adding colors again. When the cream gets lesser on the fingers, it's a good time to blend out. When we scrape colors from the container, we don't have to be too greedy, and by scraping a lot, just a bit will be sufficient. And one container, this is not the original size. The original size I'll show later is actually, if you're applying for face, it can last you like for 6 months. Because just a bit of the cover cream is enough for coverage. I'm going to get a cosmetic bag. A sponge can come in handy when you're going to use it near to the eyelash area. Look up here. Close your eyes. Okay, this is 2 layers. And should she need the third, she can also add on. You can see, oh, you cannot, you turn it. So what is important is always dab and not rub. So after applying the cover cream, in order to set it, we'll use this finishing powder. This powder is actually translucent. So I do get questions from people asking me, can I use any other powder? Yes, you can, as long as if the powder doesn't alter the shade of the cover cream. Because some loose powder comes in like light, medium or dark. for this fine finishing powder is actually translucent. And when you want to apply, especially for people with very dry skin, when you pick up the powder, do not immediately apply onto the whole face. That will result in the skin being very chalky. Okay? So what we need to do is pick up the powder, rub the powder into the powder puff. And with that, you may find that there isn't any powder left, but actually there is still. So what we need to do to set it, we press and roll. So rub in. Press and roll. After the powder is applied, the skin may look a bit matte. Okay, you have to give yourself some time. When the body temperature warms up, when we perspire, when we sweat, oil will be we have oil, and then it will look more natural. There will be a sheen to it, as compared to now, which looks a bit matte. Okay, so this is actually 2 layers of cover cream. So should Michelle be, if she wants more, actually she can use 3. Or for some others, you may find that I want more, I need 4 layers. One thing to note is, should you want to apply the 4th layer, good to set the 3rd with a setting powder first. Okay, and because cover cream is used for covering up, the more layers you need, you have to be acceptable to the thickness that you may create. Okay. So I'm not so sure if you can see from the screen, this will be the after as compared to the before. So maybe I'll just, so this is Michelle before, and after 2 layers of cover cream, so it's actually good to go. Okay, thank you. So thank you, Michelle.